3, 2, 1.
Thank you guys for joining us once again on the On Point podcast. It's been a while since you've seen my pretty face and Uncle Joe. How you doing this morning, Pastor?
I'm doing good. How are you?
A little tired from last
I know
night.
what that means.
But to hop right into it, you basically said how the song Silent Night is not accurate, right? No, he preached a message called A Not So Silent Night. And, you know, we're in the jolly holiday, the Christmas, spirit. My first question to you is, what are we really celebrating during this Christmas time?
Well, we're supposed to be celebrating.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of On Point, where we dive deeper into Sunday morning's message. If you enjoy this, please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who might be interested. We are available on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Enjoy.
The birth of Christ. It's supposed to be a time to recognize, his coming to this earth. The day in history that changed the world. And we're supposed to be. It is supposed to be a joyous time. It's supposed to be a celebration. Obviously, we have gone to a place where, it's. We do a lot of other things, and but it's still though, I would say it's still though a happy time, a joyous time. I don't get too caught up. I recognize, not everybody's celebrating for the right reasons. They're talking about their Santa Clauses and they got their, whatever. But I know what it's for. But if there's and I also recognize, was he really born on the 25th?
No.
Probably not.
We had to let somebody know that the other day.
Yeah. It was probably not the day he was born. But if this is when the world wants to celebrate his birth, I'll celebrate his birth.
Yeah.
If I, obviously, they're not called CEO Christians for nothing. You're Christmas and Easter only. Hey, if I have somebody come on Christmas who won't come any other time, I'll take it. Right. And I get one shot. It does give an opportunity. And I think there's a swing back towards, this is about Christ. And we're seeing, I think, a little bit more of that. And, you see the nativities. And there's something about, we did that thing at Tamarack Ridge and, that whole walk through nativity. There's something special about that and being able to do that.
Yeah. Tamarack Ridge. Lucio had a solo over there and forgot his lines.
He tried to sing Silent Night, and it wasn't a silent night that time either.
Lord needs to forgive me on that one.
But I didn't know that there wasn't a person alive who did not actually know Silent Night.
In my defense,
I show up, I get up in the morning, and I see Lucio at the kitchen table with his phone and listening to the song. And I'm like, what are you doing, Lucio? I'm listening to Silent Night. Oh, really? Oh, you're like, no, I'm trying to learn it. I'm like, you don't know Silent Night?
Sorry, guys, I'm not as spiritual as you thought I was. But a genuine question. I know we always asked it, but this is genuine. Like, what made you preach this message? It was such an interesting title, especially with us singing Silent Night this morning.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when John, when I hear them singing Silent Night today at church, I'm like, oh, that is classic. I said the only thing that would have made that even more classic if right after that song was over, he called me up.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny. This one actually started earlier in the week. But it didn't start as with a title of Not So Silent Night. It actually, I was just, I was in time of prayer and I was just, man, there's something about when we miss church.
Yeah.
With the snow and everything, not having church last Sunday and all that. And you just felt kind of, And I just started thinking about, and it was just crazy. I started thinking about, not being in the presence of God. And I started thinking about what it would be like if I couldn't feel him, if he wasn't talking to me, if I didn't experience him. And all of a sudden the question just kind of came in my mind. Wonder what they would have been thinking in that 500 years of silence.
Right.
And so And then of course that led to how, really the silence of that night was broken. There was a silent night, it was a sweet, if you can imagine the scenery of those shepherds as there was a bunch of things that were leading up to it, but if you can imagine that night, shepherds don't know anything that's going on, right? Angels already appeared to Mary and Joseph and all that's gone on, and the shepherds know nothing of any of that. They're out minding their own business. They're just sitting there with their sheep. I can imagine a starlit night, how we've seen all the pictures of, and they're just sitting out there, and, the sheep are making their cooing sounds or whatever they do. And, you hear maybe the wind blowing across the trees and the grasses, and you hear maybe a howling of a coyote in the far distance, or you hear a, chirping of maybe, or a hoot of an owl or something, and you hear the different sounds, maybe crickets, I don't know how warm it was, but you just hear the nights of the sound. It probably was I can imagine the hillside being so peaceful. But then I thought about 500 years of silence, and all of a sudden, bam, right? These shepherds just boom, the lights turn on, right? The shining is blinding down on them, and angels are appearing. They're, glory to God in the highest, peace, there's going to be a savior, there's going to be all this stuff is happening, and the Bible said the shepherds were freaked out. They were afraid, right? Can you imagine? I mean, they're peaceful night. One of them probably dozing off to sleep, and all of a sudden, wham, what's going on? I'm sure they probably thought they were in a dream or something crazy. I'm sure they had to shake themselves afterwards. I mean, just that, but it wasn't a silent night. It was in this moment God broke the silence, and that's kind of how it led. That's kind of how the message kind of it just. I started thinking about what it would have been like, and then of course we're doing the song "Silent Night" at the Christmas thing, because everybody picks Silent Night. It's one of the most known Christmas songs, at least to most people.
Yeah, it's not.
It's the most known Christmas song probably in the world. I mean, this thing's been around for over 200 years, and. And it's made, I think I read, it's like in 300, I don't know, it's in all kinds of languages. It's been turned, there's all kinds of stuff. But I started thinking about that. It really wasn't silent.
Right.
At least at that moment. Because God chose to break the silence to let us know the king's arrived.
Right. Well, talking about before, he broke the silence. You talked about the Lord not being pleased with people doing half-hearted things, half-hearted sacrifices.
Yeah.
Why do you think people go from full-hearted and begin to go into half-hearted sacrifices with their walk with God? Why do you think that begins to happen with people?
I think a lot of that's human nature. You have to, in anything, you have to keep the fire alive.
Right.
In a natural fire, if you don't keep putting wood on the fire will eventually go out. Right. You have to do things to keep it. In a relationship, you don't know anything about this, but one day when you're married, in a relationship, you want me to name who the suitors are?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But in a relationship, in a marriage, you have to do things to keep the marriage alive. You have to, you can't say I love you when you first get married, and then for the next 50 years, hey, I heard a story one time where a man, his wife, you never tell me. He said, I told you I loved you when we got married. When that changes, I'll let you know.
I don't know about that one.
And so, can you imagine? You have to do things, and so that's what happens. I think so easy it is to go into complacency, and just like in the season, so easy it can become about other things. It becomes about other, and so what do? We go through the rituals of religion and go through the rituals of serving God, but what God really wants is our heart to be fully pursuing Him, and that I think that's just a very natural thing. It's something we all have to. I think everybody there's not a Christian alive who has not gone through a time when they have not lost that fire and had to get God, had to rekindle that fire with the Lord. Just like in a marriage, there's not a marriage alive that hasn't had a moment in time when the relationship's been thawed. So it takes effort.
Okay. Now, my next question jumping in is, now what is God looking for now in these days, What is He desiring now in these nights?
Yeah. So I think it's two things. He doesn't want a silent night.
Right.
So one, he wants to reveal himself to us, right? So I think what he's looking for is people who are saying, God, I want you to reveal yourself to me. God, show me. You think about what's the book of Revelation. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ. So he closes Malachi, right? Going silent. He closes the book of Revelation, revealing who he is. So now what's his desire? I want to reveal myself to my people. And, Malachi let us know, hey, it's going to be from the rising of the sun to the setting the same. The name of the Lord is going to be great among the Gentiles. What we are in this time right now, we are the Gentiles,
Right.
and he's going to have a people, and he wants to reveal himself. So on one hand, the number one, he wants a people who's going to pursue him, to chase after him with their heart, and he wants to reveal himself to them. But then after we get it, he doesn't want us to stay silent.
Right.
The second part is he wants us to take this thing. The song "Go Tell It on the Mountain." He wants us to go and tell the world.
Right.
He wants us to let everybody know, what he did in our life, the change and the transformation that happened to us, and the experience that we've had in him, and the love that we've felt, the joy that we've felt, and he wants us to share that
Right.
with others.
So I guess the message would be, don't be silent.
Don't be silent.
Well, that's all I got for you today. Was there anything else you would like to leave for anybody? Or?
If I was going to say anything, I guess, is don't let it be a silent night.
Thank you for listening to the entire episode. If you found this enjoyable, please like, share, and subscribe to help spread the message. We post to Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube every week. You can catch the entire sermon on all those feeds. We would also love to see you in person at North Point Apostolic Church at 3544 Vernon Road, Stowe, Ohio, every Sunday at 10 a.m.